what's the entire Carolina Forest student body talking about when it comes to this matchup tonight?
They're all talking about how they're just ready to get at it. They know the implications. They know the region is on the line tonight. They know the winner of this is most likely taking that region, so no one's taking it lightly. They know, again, there's a lot of anticipation just built up from the fact that they haven't played in 5 years, and then you flip the script. This is for the region. This is for personal rivalries across the sideline. We know a lot of these guys, they like to talk, especially with the internet nowadays. It's very easy to talk online.
Yes.
It's just stuff. A lot of underlying stories going into this game tonight. And like you mentioned, the stadium, I just want to give a quick little shout out to Myrtle Beach. This is a beautiful stadium.
Oh,
right
yes.
here.
Carolina Forest, as we know, lost pretty badly 55-7. On the flip side, Myrtle Beach only lost to them 38-12. So does that tell you anything, you feel?
I would. You can always take something out of that. I see where Preston's coming from, obviously. I agree with him on a certain level that you can't really match up one to the other. But again, at the same time, you look and you wonder what caused those differences.
Yeah.
What's the reason for such a high score, low offense for the Panthers? And then Seahawks come out, they score a little bit more than the Panthers. They let up a little less. It's a little scary. Their margin was a lot less than ours was. We obviously got killed on the home turf. It's 50-50 for me. You look at it, you can take good out, you can take bad out at the same time. I think these are two different teams from when they played Irmo to now, and I think tonight will be the real test. And you can take off some from Irmo. Maybe Seahawks defense came out and played for Myrtle Beach. Panthers defense had a poor night against Irmo. But I think these are two teams that match up insanely well. This is going to come down fourth quarter game, and it's going to be a close shootout game in my book the whole way through.
They are averaging 148 passing yards and 148.57 rushing yards per game. That's as close to balanced as you can get.
Numbers speak for themselves. Evened out. They are a team that knows how to run the ball, a team that knows how to pass the ball, and a team that knows how to mix it and throw your defense off, sort of lull them one way, lull them the other. And it's just a team you have to be careful on all cylinders. They can move the ball any which way. That's exactly right. Ashley Ridge's offense was very explosive. They can move the ball deep, vertical threats on you. They could ground and pound with their amazing running back there in that backfield. Their quarterback could pull it and take off. They had a lot of different ways to move the ball and a lot of different ways to find the end zone, and they found success on every single drive that game, it felt like. If Myrtle Beach can come out here and they can use that balanced offense to their advantage, it might be a long night for this Panthers defense, and this might be an offensive bout where they have to trade blows. The Panthers defense really needs to step up, and they need to know to contain this balanced defense. That is really, for me, what the consistency has been relying on. Jaron Fox has been obviously the lead horse in that. He's been just an amazing elusive back, one that can break these big runs, finds holes at ease, and he's just moving the ball with the best of his capability. But at the same time, every time he puts up these great numbers, has a great game, you look behind him into the depth chart, Chris Livingston's having a good game. If Jaron Fox is putting up 2 touchdowns, Chris Livingston's right behind him in the box score putting up 2 touchdowns. And then you have Javier Higgins right behind Chris, who's also putting up numbers this season. It's just when you get this running back room going and you get it spinning and you can put all 3 of those running backs on the field and expect success from those running backs, that's when this offense is clicking and it's at its height. So we mentioned the balanced offense. We're seeing it right out the gate for these Seahawks. Going right down the field, pass, pass, run, pass, pass, run. Are you sensing a pattern?
Yeah.
I think they got a little bit of balance going on there in that offensive play calling, and they're finding their rhythm. Panthers done a great job so far in region play of getting pressure in the backfield on quarterbacks, not making it easy for them to make decisions in the pocket. And they're causing Goodrow to run out of the pocket, try to find something, make something work, and they're fitting up well, drawing up a long third down. Definitely some miscommunication. Looked like he's looking for a screen route far onto the right sideline, a guy lined up in the slot, and he just puts it way over his head. Definitely supposed to be going out either wide or the quarterback didn't get the signal, and it was a screen to the slot. Already facing a third down, and this is a big one. You're backed up in your own territory. You need to get up beyond these chains. You need to get a first down. Seahawks went down and scored on what was their first offensive drive from scrimmage, and you want to match that score. And we mentioned you do not want to let your opponent get out in front of you. The Seahawks have done just that. How are you going to respond?
And that'll bring up a fourth down.
And we know anything about this offense and the way this team is coached, they're going. There's no...
Are you even this far in your own territory?
I think if you're trusting your guys, you hand this ball off to Jaron Fox, you let him get 2 yards.
Well, you're absolutely right. They do hand it off to Fox.
That's exactly right. They love their third down guy in Hayden Souls. Very sure hands and a very sure security of the ball when you get it to that guy. That's right. And for the Panthers offense, this drive, you obviously want to secure points. You want to either tie it up. You want to take the lead. But getting past midfield and just knowing that you are able to move the ball to start off this game, especially on your first drive, where you get a couple plays in at least, that's a win for the Panthers. That's right. That is a huge touchdown like you just mentioned. You find your speed receiver, Raheem Frazier. You trust him to outrun that DB on the sideline. He does just that. Patrick Mullen places a beautiful ball out there, lands right in the breadbasket on the run for Raheem Frazier, and he just runs into the end zone. Huge response by the Panthers, really setting the tone for this offense and letting them know, hey, you want to put points on the board early? We're going right back at you, trading blows. Yeah, they tried to just run a little misdirection there in the backfield, and Jalen Weinglass read that all the way. Made a beautiful play coming off the edge and just sealing the edge, ultimately making the tackle, not allowing that one to go anywhere. And that is a big play by Seahawks quarterback Gibson Goodrow to stand in the pocket, a free rusher charging at him. He stands tall in the backfield, delivers a great dump off for the first down. And we expected going into games like Huff and Irma for those to be big air raid games. Myrtle Beach is coming out, and they are firing this ball to start off. They are not keeping it on the ground for long periods of times. They're going straight at their big guys, straight through the air. They want to get something going, and they want to get it going fast through the air. And that's just another thing that makes Fox such a great explosive back, is the ability to break off that first tackle. No matter who fits up, who touches him off that first tackle, he's not going down. He drags defenders, and he just extends plays and gets yards that he should not be seeing off looks.
The jitters are gone for the most part.
That's right. We saw the nerves come out in the first couple of drives. We saw some mistakes from both teams on either end to start off this matchup, and now it's just been air raid for the Seahawks, getting down the field, passing the ball, just dicing up the secondary. Now for the Panthers, the exact opposite, Jaron Fox on the ground. Who could have imagined that? And now we're all the way into Seahawks territory, looking to respond once again and take the lead, hopefully barring a touchdown. We talked about the big decision. It pays off. Now you're first and goal at the 3-yard line. You're looking a touchdown down the barrel right now. You punch it in, you take the lead, you respond to a big Seahawks touchdown earlier in the quarter. This is a back-to-back explosive quick-fire game. That's exactly right. Their D-line knows exactly what they have to do. They know they're looking for the run. They know they want to get it to Fox. They fit up, match up on him, close every single gap. They don't give him a lane to run, and they just don't give him anywhere to go in the backfield, and they are shutting off that end zone right now.
And
Gibson Goodrow, he's impressing me right now. He's going through his progressions. His original gets shut off by Ethan Gardner playing a good shallow defensive zone. Goes to his second progression and hits his tight end. I mean, like you mentioned, that Panthers defense fit up. They saw the weakness, the vulnerability in the backfield there of Gibson Goodrow. They play up. They get the pressure through the O-line, and they just give him nothing to work with.
I mean, down a big defensive stop for Carolina Forest here in the second quarter.
That's exactly right. Not only did you go down the field and tie this game up, keep it close like we knew it was going to be, you go out the next drive on defense and you stall up a huge 4th and 20, 3 and out. You're starting to see some momentum shift your way on the road. We know these Seahawks fans, not super packed, but they're here. They're here and they're loud. They're making an impact on the game. Panthers just doing exactly what they need to down the stretch. And this is just a showing of this offense. You want to talk about the balance, the versatility, a huge pass over the middle to Raheem Frazier to start off the drive. You give it right back to your workhorse in Jaron Fox, and he carries guys all the way down inside the red zone. A huge 2 plays to start off this drive. That's right. That's right. These guys are competitors on both sides of the ball. They're going to come out here, and no matter what this matchup is, no matter who they're playing, they're coming out hot, and they're flying around, and there is not a lot of friendly blood on this field. And that's a shame. That was a beautiful play. You just burned them on the end around with Caden Cole. You faked the end around, hit a little go ball in the back of the end zone, and that should have been 6. And Jaron Fox, he is heating up. 87 yards now, and they're pushing this thing deeper and deeper into the red zone. They're looking to take a commanding 17-10 lead here. They want another touchdown here on the board. They weren't able to convert into a touchdown last red zone trip. They're trying to make it 7. A huge touchdown. You hold them to a 3-and-out after tying this game up, and now you're taking a 7-point lead, and that's big. You need the lead. You need the momentum. You need to show that you can push this ball vertical. You can do it through the air. Could have had another beautiful passing touchdown in the back corner of the end zone. You can move it on the ground with Jaron Fox, who is quickly approaching his mark of 1,000 on the season. And now, like you mentioned, they take a 17-10 lead. Not to mention you deferred to start off this game. But yeah, you're exactly right. That's what makes these games so exciting. We know with these offensive battles, you got CF going down, scoring touchdowns. You got the Seahawks coming down the field and answering with their dynamic offense. It's you don't know what's coming next. We saw it. You want to say we saw it from the start of the game. The opening kickoff was fumbled. And then you turn around, whoa, Panthers have so much momentum. Their first play from scrimmage was fumbled.
Gets fumbled, yeah.
It's just one of these games where you cannot get comfortable, you cannot let up, and you know that no matter what you do, you have a coach, a player, whatever on the opposing sideline that's ready to match up. They're ready to go, and it's just going to be a back-and-forth matchup all night. And when you have a receiver that is the height of John Simmons, he should not be able to get to the ground that fast and scoop a ball that looks like it's heading towards the ground. That is a very impressive, a very heads-up play there. And John Simmons just made a huge play to go get that grab. And you mentioned that's a tall height for high school. He was that tall in 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
He was, yeah. He can only imagine little 5'2" me at point guard trying to guard him in basketball.
Or in football. You
That's
played
right.
DB. So.
I did play. I actually was matched up on him in football, too.
So.
Both of those sports, a little bit of a mismatch. But you know what they say when I was guarding John, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight and the dog. That's exactly right.
Unless we see a Jaron Fox break a big one.
That's exactly right. Not only have they done a great job at getting downfield on this drive, they've done a great job at taking their time doing it and making sure, like you mentioned, if something doesn't go their way, if they slip up, the Panthers don't have a ton of time to go down and extend that lead, barring getting the ball back to start the second half as well.
Yes.
And if you're the Panthers, you obviously you're trying to get them off the field. You do not want any points on the board for the Seahawks. But if they do score and tie this game up, you have the comfort in knowing you still have a little bit of an edge starting off the second half with the ball.
Before getting taken down at the 3-yard line.
And right there, he showed why he plays both sides of the ball. He shows that physicality. Safety comes down, hits him straight on, head-on collision. He bounces right off that hit, misdirects, takes up the left sideline, gets down to the 3, almost puts it in the end zone. That just comes from physicality of being a linebacker. And now we're thinking the way the Seahawks D-line on the other side of the field, they stayed strong when they forced the Panthers to only 3 to tie that game up. Here's an opportunity for the Panthers defense, who's so far, exactly, who's looked decent at times, looked pretty good at times, to show them, hey, we're coming out here. We're also going to make a big goal line stand. We're also going to make some stops. We're also going to show you we have some guys on this D-line capable of making big plays and big moments. And right here is your golden opportunity. Do not let them tie this game up going into half. Make a stop. Make a statement. And we're all even.
Yeah.
Talk about the huge region matchup. We've been talking about it since the first game of the season.
So
it's delivering. All tied up.
Oh, absolutely. If you're Mark Morris, do you try to do something here with 39 seconds left?
I'm going to say, just for the concern of the first play from scrimmage for the Panthers, trying to run. Granted, that was a little direction, a little screen. I believe you just take your knee, you take this one to the half. You're guaranteed the ball to start off the second half. You do not want any misfortune going your way. You do not want the Seahawks to even have a breathing chance to make a play going into the half. I take the knee, I put the ball on the ground, and I let this game go into the half. From there, it's just been response after response, either side going back and forth, going at it, leading us to here, 17-17 at the half. And this game is one that I feel is going to go down in dramatic fashion.
Absolutely.
That's right. They were looking for him right out the gate. 2 back-to-back go balls, just trying to get their big man going. And they just weren't able to find him. We saw the obvious pass interference on the first pass going downfield. Then going right back to him right after that. That one sails incomplete. They've been targeting him. They just have not been able to land it. Just like you mentioned, they love to schedule your tough matchups, the best of the best, either South Carolina, North Carolina, whoever you can schedule. You just want to get your team out there, match up against tough opponents. So when you do get into region, you sense a sort of ease. You're playing lower competition than you would out of the region, sort of preparing yourself mentally, physically for these matchups.
Because what's it going to take for, whether it's Carolina Forest or Myrtle Beach, what is it going to take for one of these teams to start pulling away, or are we essentially destined for overtime?
I think it's a similar tale on both sides. What Myrtle Beach needs to do to stop Carolina Forest is they need to slow down their run game. They need to make them uncomfortable in the play calling, make them uncomfortable with this offense. You need to throw it off. You need to force them to pass the ball more in these long situations, an area we obviously know they don't want to have to resort to. We know Carolina Forest wants to keep the ball on the ground. For Myrtle Beach, it's all about limiting that run game. They know it. It's just a matter of execution and flipping the side of the ball. For Carolina Forest, they have to slow down Myrtle Beach's air raid offense, their pass game, because right now they're just moving the ball through the air. They're taking shots downfield. They are vertical threats. They are pushing the ball as much as plausible right now. Carolina Forest, that secondary, that linebacking core, they just need to fit up, need to slow down that air raid offense, and they need to slow down the complete control that Myrtle Beach is having with their balanced front. I think both teams are playing dead even in terms of execution, in terms of play calling, in terms of everything. And the scoreboard reflects that, 17-17 at the half. Granted, CF is starting the second half with the ball, which is amazing. Glad you defer to start off the game because now you sort of read out the situation. You know what you have to do to start off the second half.
And that puts them on the front foot.
If you can go down and convert on your opening drive, you're out ahead, you're out of possession, and you're up advantage for the rest of the game. If you want to go down and be consistent scoring, be consistent expanding your lead, you're at the advantage. The game comes through you. Everything that the Seahawks are going to try to do, or vice versa, everything the Panthers are going to try to do, that goes through whoever's able to execute, take the lead out early, and sort of extend their lead, fluctuate it, and not give it up to the opponent.
So knowing Mark Morrison, the way he coaches, the way he handles situations, what is he telling the team right now?
Right now he's telling the team it's 0-0. We're coming out here in the second half in a crowded Doug Shaw. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy coming down the stretch. These fans are here to see a great football game. They want these Seahawks to win the region. First time in this region, the Beach region. Mm-hmm. Both sides want to be victorious. It's about execution. Who wants it more? We've been practicing all spring, all summer for a moment like this. This is why you play football. This is why you come out here. This is why you are a Panther. This is why you are part of the organization. To go out here, represent, make a play, do your job, win the Panthers a football game, in a huge one at that. A region, not guaranteed, but a driver's seat spot in this region barring a win. You need to go out here, play your best brand of football, focus on what you can control, and go out here and make a play and win the game. Now, you brought up a point that I was just about to mention, is I believe this second half is going to be a very emotional half. They're competing for something that is much, much bigger than them, and that is this region championship. Not guaranteed, but again, like we mentioned, a very good shot at winning that region.
I mean, here's the thing. If you win this game, your destiny is in your own hands.
That's exactly right. You control your path. And that is exactly why both of these teams want to be put in that position. They're going to come out here and they're going to play sheer and they're going to fly around. It's going to get intense. It's going to get heated. These guys need to know they're playing for each other. You have to keep your tempers down. You have to keep your emotions low. You have to keep your head on the field. You cannot get ahead of yourself. You cannot make any crucial errors. Self-inflicting penalties in a game like this are going to be what costs you. You have to keep your head level. You have to know where you are. You have to fill your assignment, and you have to execute. You cannot get ahead of yourself. You cannot let your guard down for 1 second, especially against a very, very talented Seahawks team. You have to just stay in the moment, keep your head level, stay on the field, and just know you're competing for each other. Go out there, be a family, be a unit, get yourself a big win. That's exactly right. He sat down, looks like a little bit of cover two, just watching the flats there. Reads it. You're taught to cut off that running back, still able to fit it to Fox, get up for 4, but Noah Herring, a great play to just sort of sit down on that read option. And this here early, you're facing a third and medium, third and long here, about 3rd and 7. You need to get your best play call here. You do not want to go 3 and out. We talked about the importance of starting off the half with the ball. just to go 3 and out, that would be a big momentum killer.
Enough for Mullen to just hit him on the easy slant route for the first down.
And we've been seeing that. Hayden Souls is the third down receiver. They trust him, very reliable, and he shows just why. And the Panthers just coming out, they are moving the ball to start off this half. We know they had him back 3rd and long, and now the Panthers, barring a big play to Hayden Souls, their third down receiver. He's been reliable, now going right back to Fox. Chris in that run game, moving the ball downfield to start off.
Panthers moving quickly. Hands it off to Fox again, and Fox will just plow his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And that is exactly what you need. As soon as you got that first down with Hayden Souls, it was Fox's drive. He touched the ball every single play there on out. I mean, he broke out big plays, 15, 18, and then capping it off, a 2-yard touchdown run. And they did exactly what they needed to open up this second half. We talked about just the perks of getting the ball to start off the second half. They go down. They drop a beautiful drive. Jaron Fox just doing what he does best, finding holes, getting big chunk plays, moving the ball first down after first down, capitalizing with a touchdown, putting the Panthers right back in the driver's seat, up 24-17.
And forcing the loss.
And Darius Huggins has been all over that backfield. He had a big sack earlier in the game, now tack on a tackle for loss. He's just been flying around, not making it easy for Goodrow in the pocket, and he's been making this O-line think. And we talked about the Panthers being able to go and capitalize off getting the ball first. The Seahawks are responding right back, which has been the story of the game. And there we just see Ethan Gardner playing stride for stride with them all the way through the end zone. A man that has been playing great coverage at corner this season. He just looks, any receiver he's assigned on, he is always stride for stride. A very fast corner there in Ethan Gardner, and he's just not letting anything up on his side of the field tonight.
And the Panthers have it.
And that, we talk about bend don't break so much. We just mentioned that they are nearing the red zone. They need a big stand. You do not want to tie this game up, and the Panthers defense comes up big. Goodrow decides to take off, and he's going to pay the price for it. We know that's always a concern when quarterbacks take off to run, and the Panthers defense making a huge play, making it even more manageable for the Panthers to be in this driver's seat coming down the stretch. And we have been seeing that vertical offense from the Panthers really unveil itself tonight. We have seen the ball thrown vertically upfield more than we had this entire season. Yeah, how about that one? Good for 54 yards. We were just talking about on break how we want to see Jaron Fox break one of those big ones tonight, and we almost, again, just get a glimpse at it, not able to fully take it the distance, but pushing the Panthers deep into Seahawks territory nonetheless. Going into the game, needed 107. How about 196?
Yeah.
How does that works?
I think that'll do it.
Okay, I was just making sure if you wanted that. I didn't know if you want too much, you wanted too little.
Maybe he'll get over 250 tonight.
And not only are the Panthers now in the red zone, they are deep in the red zone. Just like you mentioned, the 2-yard line, looking to punch in another touchdown. And now for the Seahawks, you're getting buried a little bit. 14 unanswered to start off the second half for the Panthers. You need to respond. If you want a shot at this region, here it is right here. It's in front of you. You need to turn up. You need to get back into this game. Panthers are starting to pull away with this one a little bit. You need to show them that you have something left in the tank. If not, they're just going to keep running all over you.
This game isn't over because of how dynamic and how fast this Myrtle Beach offense can score.
That's exactly right. And they show it off there. Get down the field in 2 plays, 2 quick vertical passes, pushing the field, stretching the length, 75 yards in 2 plays. A very impressive drive there for the Seahawks.
And a grand total of a minute coming off the clock.
That's exactly right. In a situation they're in, trying to save as much time as possible while trying to run up the score, they did exactly what they needed to. And now, there's, just like we said, you have to show them that you still have some left in the tank. I think they still have some left in the tank. So, can never get too comfortable in these games, and the Seahawks are showing just why. We're just going to see here is this Myrtle Beach offense really go into its playbook, really go into its bag, and pull out anything they can. We know they are very balanced. They are very dynamic. They need to get downfield, and they need to tie this game up if you are a Seahawk. And on that play, we saw a weakness from both teams. The Seahawks, it's coming down to their costly mistakes.
Yeah.
They're doing it to themselves. The Panthers, they're doing it to themselves in the secondary, just not being able to contain this dynamic pass game. They just got to be able to slow down Goodrow, and his arm is firing right now. They are lucky to have this one back. But Gibson Goodrow, he's just able to read this defense, and he's putting it on his money to his receivers. He's playing an unbelievable game through the air. That's exactly right. And these Panthers, they're coming out, and right now on a 4th and 4, they have an opportunity to make a huge stop. And you got to think, if they make this stop, they are in Seahawks territory at around their own 34-yard line, we'll call it, the Seahawks 34-yard line. If they get this stop, they're in prime position to score again and run this up to a 3-possession game in the 4th quarter. To me, if you see the Panthers offense that has been able to get down the field, mainly in the run game, their strong suit, they've been able to push the ball vertical, which is something new to us as much as this season, especially this game. I don't see a world that I would give the ball back to this offense down 2 possessions entering the 4th quarter.
And another huge 50-play Jaron Fox.
Not only did I call it, you called it.
Yep.
You were talking about if he's going to go for 300. There you go, 306.
300 right there. Yep.
306
And
on the ground.
We still have over 10 minutes left to go in the game. Can he get to 4? Maybe I'm pushing it a little bit.
You're pushing it, but every time you pushed it, it's responded.
Yeah.
It's responded. 306, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Are you liking the performance? Are you satisfied?
I am. This has been his best performance of the season.
You can never count out a versatile offense that is able to stretch the field vertically as much as these Seahawks are able to. It only takes a strike or two with this offense, and they just proved it on this drive once again. They did it a couple drives earlier. They did it on this drive. They instantly, every time we sort of pull away, the Seahawks show us just how well coached they are, how well manned they are, how talented they are, and they show you they're not going away and they're not going to roll over and die in this game by any means.
This game has absolutely lived up to the hype.
There has been no lack of scoring. There has been no lack of entertainment. There has been no lack of anything in this game.
No lack of excitement.
That's exactly right. It has played so close and so well, so explosive. Jaron Fox, you want to break off a 62-yard touchdown? We'll break off a 62-yard touchdown pass. We'll match your run game with our pass game. We'll fit up, and we're going to show you we're not out of this game. It's just entertaining all around, and it's just great football. If you would have told me at the beginning of the day, getting ready for the matchup, preparing everything for the broadcast, you come to me, you say, 4th quarter, 10 minutes remaining. Jaron Fox has 306 rush yards and 4 touchdowns. I would believe you. I would say, oh, so he's Jaron Fox.
Yeah.
He's just doing the usual. He's going to work. He's showing up. You give the ball to your playmakers, whether that's the form of a dive, a stretch, a screen pass, which we just saw Jaron Fox going all the way length to length of the field. It's been no lack of playmaking.
And that'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
And with the Panthers being deep into Seahawks territory, being in the red zone here, you got to imagine they're in Keon Jan territory. Even if they are to get stalled out here on 3rd down, Keon Jan hit a field goal earlier from about the same distance. That would make it a 3-possession game. It's just he's able to get through these gaps, get through these holes with such precision, find where he needs to go, the patience to not just rush a hole and just break off any sort of run he needs to. It's wonderful to watch. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, the only type of way you see numbers like this get put up is if you turn on a Boise State football game and watch Ashton Jeanty,
Exactly.
which, in case you guys were wondering, is in the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. So it shows you just how good those numbers might be. Even if it's at the high school level, he is balling. That's exactly right. Just want to take their time to think this one over. About 3rd and goal at the 1.5 yard line, and you got to imagine Chris Livingston, Jaron Fox, one of those 2 workloads is just straight halfback gut. Trust your guys, trust your O-line. But again, even if they don't get it here on this 3rd down, just pop Keon Jan in the game, let him go up and kick a field goal, a second of the game, which I'm not sure about 2 field goals for CF in a single game. That's crazy in itself. It's just been no lack of anything football-wise tonight.
Yep. He does everything, doesn't he?
He is the offense.
He is.
And ladies and gentlemen, 5 touchdowns. 5. 5. I'm almost
So,
having to bring up a second hand to hold it up.
How many yards does he have now?
319 on the ground
Well, yes.
to account for 62 through the air.
Yeah. So hey, if you include the passing, if you include the receiving yards, he probably will hit 400.
381 all-purpose yards on the ground tonight. He's 19 left to go, 5:41 left in this game. With the way the Seahawks are going to play this, Panthers are getting the ball back.
Oh, yeah.
Jaron Fox, if they want to keep it on the ground, which they are going to, if they want to keep Fox in the game, he has to be, because it feels like tonight he has just been the man. He's been seeing the ball majority of possessions, which is normal. But for him to go for 381 and 5 touchdowns on the night, that is just unprecedented. Jaron Fox, he's always had the capability, but tonight he's putting it on full display in an offensive shootout. And just like you mentioned about the Panthers' defense, they are playing back off the ball a lot more on this possession, as you would imagine, up 3 possessions, knowing the Seahawks are going to try to stretch the field vertical, leading to the Seahawks running the ball there to start off the drive. They have a lot more breathing room to do such as that. Panthers starting to play off the ball a lot more. Had a ton of big running back names here come through CF. David Leggett, Jakeem Sumter. You got the Janak attack. Khalil Johnson, obviously, as of late. Now Jaron Fox sort of taking over that role. Chris Livingston, the fire and ice. As this clock just starts to tick away. Just at 3 minutes left, up 2 possessions. Just trying to move the ball, not take any risks, keeping this ball on the ground. We're not going to see any balls come through the air here. Strictly ground and pound. Jaron Fox is out of the game. He's going to get put in for his 400. As this clock just continues to tick away. No contest from the Seahawks when it comes to timeouts or any sort of stop clocking. Seems like the Panthers here are just going to roll to a 3-0 Region 6 5A record. And even though the penalty is going to take this one back, just when we talk about this run game, just how dynamic it is, the fire and ice, you can go from one back to the other, the special capabilities of each back. Chris Livingston's showing his ability to be able to hit those holes and as well turn up when he hits that second gear all the way down to the 6-yard line. Obviously the penalty draws it back, but this running back room is nothing short of special. Trending towards 90 seconds left here on the clock. Just continues to tick down play after play. Second down here, and the Panthers are coming up. Just going to have the ability to put this one in victory formation and put it away. That's exactly right. And they took care of business tonight. They did exactly what they needed to do. They needed to come out here and put on a dominant showing. They needed to win this game in much just a statement fashion. And they did just that. Jaron Fox, the workload of this offense, we mentioned 381 all-purpose yards. Just insane numbers. 319 of those coming on the ground with 5 rushing touchdowns. This offense was just clicking. It was very dynamic. This defense looked to turn up and get huge swallowing stops down the stretch. And they put up a 50-burger, an impressive feat in any matchup.
Oh, yeah.
And this Panthers team just looked to roll. They proved why they are front runners in this region, why they were favorites in this region.